a lot of whispering going on.
Right,
right. Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome back to our segment called Did You Hear? So an interesting topic making news this morning, according to CNN.com. Pope Francis had an interesting thing to share from the Vatican in Mass on Sunday morning. So the topic of breastfeeding came up. You know, this is a popular discussion. It has been for a while.
And debatable, too.
Where is it appropriate for women to do it versus not?
People talk about this all the time, out in public. Is okay, not
well,
okay.
Pope Francis made it very clear to the women in the congregation that if your baby is hungry, you feed it, no matter where you are.
He
be
said,
it in
let
the
them eat.
Let
Wow.
them eat. Be it in the sanctuary or wherever it is.
Top.
You know, this is not surprising because we have found and heard him to be a very modern-day pope.
Yeah.
He's very progressive.
He's come out with a lot of statements that people go, what?
How he thinks about things and how he addresses things. Mothers everywhere celebrate it because a lot of times you're sitting in church, you've seen this before, a woman has to get up and go out. Here is the controversy as it stands with people talking about it online. People are saying, well, I may not want to see that while I'm in the church service. But is it okay, I think, that he gives them the right to do it?
Well, to me, like, I've seen it before. Women will do it, and they're covered, and that's no problem.
Right.
Now, I guess it depends on how you do it. But the other thing, too, is if it's in a quiet church, and if you hear it happening, is that a distraction?
Oh, that's a good.
Right?
You know, he did have an.
That's true. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Could it be a distraction?
Yeah, not actually just something that
visually,
you know, visually, but you might even hear it, and you're trying to listen.
Yeah, here's another debate too. When you're in church, you should be focused. You should be, you know, right? Your eyes shouldn't be wandering around. So you know, that's what I would hear.
He made an interesting point. He said, you know, when from his vantage point, when you hear children crying, he says the voice of children are like angels, and it means that they need something, and we should be caring for the children first and foremost at all times. I want to go to some women in our
Hold on,
audience.
wait, I gotta address that. I have kids. And the voice of babies crying is not always like angels. I'm just saying.
But from Pope Francis,
take it from a parent's perspective.
The great leader, he says it's all right. I want to talk to some parents in the audience because I'm interested in hearing what moms have to say about this. Good morning. What's your name?
Jeanette Farage.
Hi, Jeanette. Can you weigh in on this topic for us this morning? What do you think?
Well, I actually feel like there's a way to do it. I don't think there's a problem with having to feed your baby in public. I just think there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it.
Let me ask you this, Jeanette. You are a mother, correct? Yes. Would you feel comfortable now, having kind of heard this edict from the Pope, if you were in service and you needed to do it, would you feel comfortable there in the pew to do it? Yeah.
You would have to go to the side and try to... Right.
Personally, me, I would remove myself and then go feed the baby. That's me. But, you know, I can understand why some women feel like they have to prove a point, I guess.
And that's a good point, that there are some women that feel they want to prove a point. Like, I should be allowed to do this. I should be able to do whatever I want. It's natural. It's blah, 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 blah. Well, there's a lot of things that are natural. Yeah. That if we want to follow that line of thinking... And
smoking like a man, right?
I mean, just saying,
you have to get rid of that milk, right?
So
exactly. We have another mom in the audience who has a point. Do we like the idea that the Pope is progressively allowing different things and kind of relaxing what we thought was, you know, maybe untraditional? Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Bridget.
Hi, Edie.
Good morning, Edie. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
We all like Edie.
I know, I'm excited. Edie is my jewelry fairy.
Yeah, well, Edie's a good friend of ours here on the show.
Good friend to the show. Edie, what do you think this morning?
I feel the same way Jeanette does. I would actually just step aside and, you know, but most babies are on a time schedule to, you know, to feed. And, you know, I breastfed all my children, and I'm not ashamed of it. It was probably the best.
But you didn't do it at San Fernando Cathedral.
No, I did not.
Right. Because here's my guess too, right, Edie? I mean, because you're going to have to expose. I mean, there's some exposure, right?
Some exposure.
So you have to be real discreet about it. And
Thank you so much, Edie. What I love so much is that it does represent a new era of how we think about conducting ourselves in church. I love that the Pope presents this as an option for women, but they still have the right to choose to do what they feel comfortable doing. I love that. It's a progressive way of thinking.
He gives you that choice.